Hello everyone, this is lesson 2, and in this lesson we'll be dealing with the formatting the output or formatting our text to the console. So first of all, we need to create the source file and then file, save as. I'll save this as lesson 2. You may save any name of your choice, but make sure it's meaningful so that you can know what codes are inside the file. After that, we're going to write the same structure of program, or we call it the skeleton, and then using namespace std and then int main and then return 0. This is structure of a lesson. Let's compile to see if there is syntax error. No, the file is fine. So we'll continue with output, but the main objective of this lesson is to make you comfortable with the formatting your text to the console. To do so, I'll try to see out the text like C++ lesson 2, and then I'll compile and learn. I see the text is printed. This one, C++ lesson 2. What if I have to print another text? So I'll be see out. This is from lecture room online, semicolon, compile and run. We will see the texts are linked and joined in the same line. Lesson C++ lesson 2, and then 2 and this, there is no space inside or between these two strings, and you have is from lecture room online. If I want to leave space, is either to add at 2 or before this. And if I compile and learn, the texts now are printed in the same line, but there is a space. So if you want to print a text in the same line, you will use cout object, and then the strings will be logically separated by space. So either the space can be after the first string or before the next string. And what if you want your text to be returned, each text in its own line? We have another option called as end line. So before outputting another thing, we will output end line. So it's written as ENDL, but it means end line. Let's try to compile and learn this program. So you will see lesson 1 is printed on its own line, and this is from lecture online is printed in its own line. So if I have another text here below, C++ is very powerful, and then semicolon. If I learn, the same problem arise that the next string is linked or joined to the other string. So to separate again, I'll have to use cout, and then I will cout end line before the next string, and then all of these 3 lines will be printed, each one in its own line as seen. Lesson 2, this is from lecture room online. C++ is very powerful. This formatting of output is very applicable. It depends on the nature or how do you want to present your data to the users of your program. But there is a short syntax to write this. So I can delete this and just leave the end line both in the same line and this I can end up here. So this is the shortcut way to write the end line. So before the semicolon, you will add again the insertion operators, and then you write end line. Let's try to compile and learn to see if there is any problem. No, there is no problem. The program have compiled and learned successful. The last option, or another option you can use, instead of using end line, you may end your text just as we did on the previous. But if I try to compile and learn this, we will see that all of the three strings are printed on the same, on the text are printed on the same line. So to solve this, we can use what we call the escape sequence. So the escape sequence are the letters that have got meaning or a special task to do. So one among those is a new line, and a new line is written as n. To do so, you'll put the back slash and then put n. And here, instead of writing end line, backslash n. And if you want to do so here, backslash n. Let's see if we'll produce the same results. Then compile and run. You will see all of the lines are printed on their own line. This is because the escape sequence n is used to provide a new line. So a new line is alternative to end line. But the advantage of using a new line is that you can use it on before the text of the next string. For example, here I can press new line, and here I can press new line. So I expect this to produce the same results. Let's try. As you see, it's produced the same results of printing each text on its own line. So this is advantage of the new line. It's within the text you want to print and can be before the text. So even if I want to print this on its own line or to leave the space, so I'll try to let me put example 3, 3 of them, so that the space will be enough to show. So you'll see there is enough space to show this. So that's the advantage of using end line. And that's all. So to do formatting, you have to know how to print the text to the console, and this will depend on the nature of program and the nature of the text and the function of the text to the console. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to your fellow friends, and let's see you on the next lesson. Goodbye.